when I look at who uh, can I credit most for where I am in life, or what um, what do I credit most? I would have to begin with my parents. My father was from Virginia, mom from North Carolina, folks that came up during the Great Migration. Um, and it was a migration, but it was a diaspora, to flee um, that the terrorism in the South from Jim Crow, state-sponsored terrorism, and they came up for a better life. I remember my, dad was working on a farm, and the owner of the farm did not want blacks to migrate because they didn't want to lose the labor pool. So he had to steal away at night. And he never really talked too much about those experiences, but I know, my God, I know they were painful. Came up to New York and then sent for my mom. And then she came up also in the middle of the night. And I credit my sense of self and esteem and hope and promise to those conversations I would have with my my mother and my father. They always told me that I am more than my present circumstance. Not just myself, but we as Black people were more than my, our present circumstance. And I think this gave me the resources to navigate everything from drug use to recovery to jobs to schools to marriage, that it was an abiding sense of purpose in my life. Now I don't know what the purpose was. Sometimes the purpose of life is to find out what your purpose in life is, and I think I'm still trying to scratch that out. But they gave me so much help, and then along the way, as they transition, I got so much philosophical insight from some of the strangest places. The barbershop, and I was a little kid with my yeah, feet hanging over the chair. And, these guys would just come into the barbershop and just philosophize about life. And I would be there with my mouth open, just taking everything in. Some were hustlers, yeah. Some were gangsters, yeah. Some were preachers, some were school teachers, some were race men. And I have vivid memories of just listening to them debate the events of the day in the barbershop. And so they were credited. And even through, my years of, drug use and recovery, there were people I believe that were sent to me to guide me in certain points in my life if there was a roadblock. And I found out, which was interesting, they were available to me if I was available to them, whether it was through formal sponsorship, whether it was somebody sleeping in the bunk, next to me, whether it was someone at the job, whether it was a client at the job. I realized early on that any person can be a vessel of um, of information that will help you along the way, as long as I was open to it. So I've tried to employ this principle of being present and open in every conversation. Even at my office, I won't have my cell phone on the table, no matter who comes in, because that is important to them, and that would have been important to me as well. So, who or what do I credit for where I am in my life? It begins with my parents, and it's almost as though that angels were and I call them angels. Yeah, even the hustlers in the barbershop, and even, the cats on the corner, the preachers, the lawyers. I call them angels that were dispatched and would come when I would get in trouble. They'd come from every direction and give me what I needed, give me the resources to navigate that trouble. So openness, open-mindedness is a value that I try to keep to this day. So thank you.